Hi, I'm John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Welcome to another edition of the MBA Adventure, Making It Happen. Today we're going to talk about how to ace Wharton's team-based discussion. We have with us Judith Hodara of Fortuna Admissions, co-founder and a director, who knows Wharton intimately, having served in their admissions office for many years, including as acting director of admissions. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Okay, there's this grueling test. It's unique to Wharton. Only at Wharton do you have to go into a room with 5 or 6 other applicants and perform. How do you do it?
It's kind of like celebrity deathmatch. Kidding. So Wharton has really devised this opportunity for students to interact in sort of a conference room setting. What happened was, for many, many years, interviewees were coming in very, very prepared. And Wharton over time decided that they wanted to give them a chance to talk to each other as opposed to just talking one-on-one.
Yeah.
And I know this from my own experience. I would go to a country, I would do 15 interviews a day, and I would get a lot of the same answers throughout the day. So the team-based discussion changes depending on who's in the room with you. Everybody gets asked the same exact question to prepare for, and the question is the same for round 1 and round 2 of each year, and round 3 as well. And so students are asked to come in and really solve a problem. So what Wharton is looking to do is to understand how they relate to one another, not necessarily that their idea or their pitch is the one that's chosen, but that they're able to toss the ball back and forth to one another, that they're able to marshal their ideas and come up with a feasible plan. And it's a short exercise. It's only half an hour to 35 minutes, but you can learn a lot about an applicant in that period of time.
What shouldn't you do during it?
Well, the first one would probably be to not take too much control too early. You really want to figure out who's in the room with you. And even if you are the, quote, take charge kind of person, you want to make sure that you're hearing other people that are sitting around the table with you. And recognize that it's not all winners or losers in that situation. So it could be that some of your ideas being used, some of somebody else's ideas being used, and it's never a winner takes all kind of discussion.
So you want to be a leader.
You want to be
but
a leader.
you don't want to lead.
You kind of want to lead. You want to do some corralling, so to speak.
Right.
Something else that can be a bit difficult is not saying enough. So being more of a listener and an observer. But the people that are watching this conversation really want to make sure that you're actually bringing something of yourself to the discussion as well. So it's admittedly a very fine balance.
Now, when the first year when Wharton did this, no one knew what the subject would be. Now you know, so you can prepare beforehand.
Right.
Does that change the nature of the discussion, the exercise?
So a little bit. It is possible to over-prepare for this, and I talk to students all the time about not going in with a script in their head. Certainly having notes in your mind about what you might want to talk about, and recognizing that the questions are usually devised that have 5 or 6 talking points in them. So you want to make sure, this year's is about designing the first day of Tangent Hall, the opening day. How are you going to structure it? Who are you inviting to speak? What are the breakout sessions going to look like?
Which is Wharton's new entrepreneurship center.
Right, and it's a wonderful idea to have the MBAs design how this day is going to go. But to really highlight enough of a layer of understanding of each of the points that Wharton wants you to think about. And so you may come up with a great idea for a guest speaker, and that guest speaker may or may not be selected, but you've got other things that you're going to offer to the conversation.
Right. How do you deal with nerves? Because I imagine that most people who go into that are anxiety-ridden. A lot is hanging on this. You become obsessed with the ability to get into Wharton, and now you have this final test. What advice do you give about nerves?
I usually say to make sure that you practice enough with people that you know, and just so you get those ideas out of your mouth. I mean, even for preparing for anything, you don't want to sit down for the first time having never said it before.
Right.
So you want to practice those ideas. Also, getting there a little bit early if you can. It's kind of like going to the dentist, so you might as well meet the other patients while you're in the waiting room. And just to recognize what I keep saying to the students that work with us is that it's not all or nothing. And so there's so many different parameters and ways that your candidacy is being evaluated. This is just one more piece, and this is not going to be the make or break situation. It's really just a chance for you to show some more skills that you possess. And getting ready, getting to the interview stage at Wharton is really quite a feather in your cap.
Indeed.
So I hope that students go in feeling calm and confident about that.
Well, Judith, thank you. Now you know how to ace Wharton's team-based discussion. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Look for another edition of the MBA Adventure, Making It Happen.